Hey, welcome back to the War on the Game. Today we actually have a public service announcement, an education, if you will, on things that you can buy for $100,000. This will get interesting in a second. So, you have $100,000. You could go to Allen, Texas, and you could buy a home. Allen, Texas is a little bit outside of Dallas. I myself lived in Dallas, and Allen's probably like 25-30 minutes away. Really nice. That's a nice house for $99,980. For $99,500, you get, a Timberview Drive place. $69,000. That's not bad. But like I said, for $100,000, if you have $100,000 burning a hole in your pocket, you can buy a house in Texas. So that's interesting. Now let's say maybe you like cars, right? Well, for $100,000, these are all popular cars over $100,000. So there's a Ferrari. The base level Ferrari is a little bit more than $100,000. We've got BMW 7 Series. This is annoying. I need to stop doing that. Mercedes S-Class and E-Class. Aston Martins. Expensive Audis. All of these for about $100,000. So again, if you have $100,000, you could get a really baller car or, a small, reasonable house in Texas. Or you could go to an Ivy League school. Tuition over 4 years in an Ivy League school is about $100,000 generally. Board obviously adds more to that, but the tuition alone is about $25,000 to $30,000 a year. So if you have $100,000, you could, go to an Ivy League school, buy a home, buy a super baller car, or last option, just in case, you could also have the ultimate experience dating coach package of personal coaching with Neil Strauss, where you'll learn to turn strangers into soulmates with the world's most legendary attraction and dating coach. One-on-one mentoring by the world's most legendary coach, Neil Strauss, author of the international New York Times bestseller, dateless writer. Here it talks about Neil. So the package is personal coaching in Los Angeles, where Neil lives, for 3 to 5 days. Support materials include DVDs, workbooks, and manuals, probably the Annihilation Method. And the price, US $100,000. Everyone can see that? It's right there. Right here, price $100,000, or the same as a BMW 7 Series, a home in Allen, Texas, or 4 years in an Ivy League school. I don't even have jokes for this. This is a serious website. Neil Strauss, it's just the hypocrisy. Honestly, I am all for capitalism. I think Reagan should be on the $1 bill. And, if you can sell a $100,000 coaching package, I guess that's not wrong, but man, I would not. There's no way I could ever justify selling a $100,000 coaching package, especially for a weekend. I mean, a weekend is not enough to transform anybody. Maybe if it was a year and there was a lot of stuff, maybe. But I mean, a weekend doesn't work. What weekend coaching does is it gets guys who never saw that they could approach and that it wasn't a big deal to get started. It teaches you the basics, and it shows you what it looks like when people are good. But it's not enough to transform you. That's why we moved away from that model and towards the longer coaching model 3 years ago at Sins of Attraction. So, I mean, again, it's $100,000 for a weekend. There's a weekend. You own a home, a baller car, or an Ivy League education, or a weekend with Neil Strauss. A weekend with Neil Strauss is $100,000. It's crazy. I mean, I don't even know what to say because it's so ridiculous. I don't even have any jokes. I mean, it's funny that this guy talks about the seduction industry and how it's become a business and how people are just into making money, and then has the balls, just the sheer out-and-out balls, to then have this be out there. Not even hard to find. This shit was posted on the blog. This shit is not hard to find. It's dated now. You can call and inquire now. And that is just crazy to me. So again, I mean, I think this is like the final hole in the Neil Strauss myth, right? Because, I mean, if you were really just concerned with helping people and, you know, getting out there and getting to work with guys, you would not offer a $100,000 boot camp. If you really had such a problem with the seduction community turning into the seduction industry, you wouldn't be offering a $100,000 boot camp. And let's just face facts. So, I mean, we pretty much see Neil Strauss is a business person. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but don't pretend to be something you're not. Don't sit here and preach about how you're like in this for the right reasons and you really care about stuff and then have a $100,000 fucking 3-day boot camp. My favorite part of this ad, actually, we didn't talk about this, is if you require personal coaching at your place, there will be additional cost of a 4-star hotel and first-class return flight. So Neil wants you to know that at least a 4-star hotel and first-class return flight. Neil doesn't fly coach, and he doesn't stay in 3-star hotels. So, you know, again, someone who really is a man of the people. Like, when I think Neil Strauss, I think, man, that guy really understands what it's like to be like the average dating guy who needs help. He really understands where you're coming from when, you know, you're not a 4-time Rolling Stone best-selling author and, you know, you don't get the opportunity to go backstage for work and use that as a date. And, you know, you don't have the opportunity to meet famous people all the time. Neil Strauss understands that, and he wants you to know that he is willing to help you for $100,000. Anyway, I'm sure the comments on this will get crazy. Please leave your own jokes, because like I said, I'm just fucking stunned. I can't even think at this point, because this is just the most ridiculously blatant example of just ridiculousness that I've ever seen. So leave a comment, make some jokes about Neil Strauss's 100-gram boot camp. Maybe I'll be able to write some stuff, have some funnier things later. This is just crazy. All right, talk to you soon. Fuck Neil Strauss. War on the game.